To our Tech News Link, my name is Violet Wangui. 6 former cabinet secretaries may come back as 11 more get nominated by President Ruto. Those of us not to join Ruto talks team.
Convention, not a dialogue. Following that convention, then there can be engagement with regard to interim arrangements of a government of national unity.
Bangladesh bans rallies as violent protests spiral out of control. To start off, President William Ruto has unveiled 11 new cabinet nominees and proposed the reappointment of 6 former CS.
The people of Kenya have expressed their views on governance, development, economic management, national finances, and many other aspects of our nationhood. It is of utmost importance that the government takes measures to affirm our commitment to actualizing the people's aspirations, assure citizens that the state exists to serve them efficiently and with integrity, and to signal to all that our national values and principles of governance are the foundation of our national dispensation. The issues that have come to the fore requiring expeditious attention as matters of urgent priority include an accelerated program to significantly increase our food production and agricultural sector development, in addition to the interventions that we already have, so as to reduce the cost of living and enhance food security in our country, and together with it, to provide requisite raw materials for our value addition, our manufacturing, and our industrialization agenda. The need to expand existing job creation opportunities and programs, and to create new interventions to address unemployment in order to absorb thousands of unemployed young people and provide them with gainful employment opportunities. The necessity of a public conversation on innovative, prudent, transparent, and accountable use of public resources, along with people-friendly mechanisms for domestic resource mobilization and reducing public expenditure in a manner to make sure that we live within our means. Number 4, the imperative of addressing the significant challenge of public debt by establishing and implementing very clear mechanisms to reduce public borrowing and insulate the country from risks associated with debt accumulation, including prudent financial management to avoid debt distress. The importance of constituting a more inclusive government that unlocks the potential of citizens from all sectors to drive our national transformation and our unity. I gave the nation my undertaking to reflect at length on these issues that have been brought into sharp focus by the people of Kenya. I also promised to consult widely on the way forward, and I also promised to craft a broad-based government that would harness the enormous potential in our country to turbocharge our economic transformation and to provide for inclusive growth.
In his address at State House, Ruto said the first batch of the cabinet nominees will help him in driving the urgently needed and irreversible transformation of the country.
While the events of the past 1 month have caused tremendous anxiety, concern, and uncertainty, the crisis has presented us with a greater opportunity as a nation to craft a broad-based and inclusive citizen coalition for national transformation and progress, made up of all Kenyans from all walks of life. It cannot be denied that our nation has been in a crisis caused by multiple and complex factors. Neither can we turn away from recognizing that the opportunity before us is greater than the crisis. Together, we have a chance to take our country where we all want it to be and make our nation, the Kenya we want, a great nation. For these reasons, I have consulted extensively on one, the need to enhance, broaden, and deepen the national economic turnaround plan set out in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda to incorporate a wider range of ideas, programs, and interventions that will facilitate job creation, robust debt management, enhanced transparency and accountability in the use of public resources, and enhance domestic resource mobilization and optimize public expenditure in a manner that gives all of us a chance to live within our means.
The 6 CS who have been reappointed are Kithure Kindiki, Interior; Alice Wahome, Public Works; Aden Duale, Defense; Davis Chirchir, Roads; Soipan Tuya, Environment. Kindiki, Duale, and Tuya have retained their previous dockets, although Wahome have been moved from lands, while Chirchir previously held the energy docket.
Consequently, I have started the process of forming a new broad-based cabinet to assist in driving the urgently needed and irreversible transformation of our country. I nominate the following first batch of 11 individuals for consideration and approval by the National Assembly for appointment as cabinet secretaries and Attorney General. Ministry of Interior and National Administration, Professor Kithure Kindiki. Ministry of Health, Dr. Deborah Mulongo Baraza. Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing, and Urban Development, Alice Wahome. Ministry of Education, Julius Migosi Ogamba. Ministry of Defense, Aden Bare Duale. Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, Dr. Andrew Muhia Karanja. Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, Roslinda Soipan Tuya. Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, Eric Muridhi Muga. Ministry of Roads and Transport, Davis Chirchir. Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Margaret Nyambura Ndungu. Attorney General, Rebecca Miano. I am continuing to undertake consultations across the political divide on the balance of cabinet that I will appoint shortly. The consultations are at an advanced stage, and internal processes in various sectors are underway to facilitate my appointment of the balance of this cabinet. Additionally, I will be issuing next week a clear roadmap on the assignment that the new cabinet is going to have, with clear timelines and deliverables for us to harness the tremendous potential that exists in our nation and drive our country to greatness. Thank you very much.
Rebecca Miano, who was previous CS for Industry and Trade, has been nominated for the post of Attorney General. In his address, Ruto said Kenya's credentials as democratic nation have been severely tested over the past month, but the crisis provided an opportunity for the country to reflect deeply and chart a fresh start. The president said that during the discourse sparked off by Gen Z's-led protest, Kenyans expressed their views on governance, development, economic management, national finance, and many other aspects of national life. Ruto said it's imperative that the government takes measures to affirm its commitment to actualize the people's aspiration and assure them that the government exists to serve them efficiently and with integrity. The president said Kenyans have a chance to bounce back from the crisis caused by multiple and complex factors and take the country where everyone wants it to be. Moving on, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition has reaffirmed that it will not take part of the proposed broad-based government, which President William Ruto said he will unveil in due course. In a press briefing today, Azimio principal Kalonzo Musyoka said being part of the proposed government of national unity will be betraying especially to Gen Zs and millennials. Kalonzo further said being part of the proposed new government will be betrayal of ideology, values, and tenets of Azimio constituent parties. He said the impending reorganization of the cabinet and naming of new officers holds will only be cosmetic. Kalonzo addressed the media at the Kenya School of Government, where he had attended the Pan-Africa Youth Convention with other Azimio leaders.
Our respective National Executive Council sessions to discuss the proposed Kenya Kwanza-led broad-based government of national unity. The Wiper Democratic Movement, Jubilee Party, DAP Kenya, Party of National Unity, PNU, NAC Kenya, and we want to add even ODM had their parliamentary group meeting at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Foundation. So now, number one, we shall not participate in or support the proposed Kenya Kwanza-led broad-based government of national unity, because this is a betrayal of the Kenyan people, particularly Gen Z and millennials, who are paid the ultimate price to rid this country of the disastrous Kenya Kwanza regime, their harsh taxes, finance bills 2023-2024, corruption, tribalism, unemployment, and the continued high cost of living. We shall not join for the straightforward reason that such actions are betrayal of the ideology, values, and tenets of both our coalition party and our constituent parties. As long as the Kenya Kwanza regime remain in place, absolutely nothing will change. A cabinet reorganization and changing of office holders will only be cosmetic. Unless, and I want to add this, unless that new cabinet will take place after what, and this is something we need to really reflect on, after what our leader, Honorable Raila Odinga, has called a convention, not a dialogue. Following that convention, then there can be engagement with regard to interim arrangements of a government of national unity. And as transitional government of national unity. following resolutions of a convention. Number 3, should any of our members opt to join the proposed Kenya Kwanza-led broad-based government of national unity, we shall not be party to that decision. They will actually only be joining in their individual capacities, not on behalf of Azimio. Finally, we reiterate our public position that when it comes to siding with Gen Z and the Kenyan people versus a Kenya Kwanza regime, our decision is as obvious as day and night. We will always side and stand with the people of Kenya. God bless Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party. God bless our country, Kenya. Thank you. We don't even want to take any questions with your permission.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
He said the resolution not to be part of the proposed unity government was reached by Wiper Democratic Movement, Jubilee Party, DAP Kenya Party, Party of the National Unity, PNU, and New NAC Kenya during their respective National Executive Council NEC meetings. His remarks came amid reports of growing discord within the opposition coalition, where it's reported ODM leader Raila Odinga has welcomed the idea of being part of the government of national unity. Kalonzo dismissed the report, saying Azimio is united, adding that the only way Azimio will agree to be part of the Tumo News, journalists will on Wednesday next week take to the streets to protest against attack on media personalities by the police over the recent past. Kenya Union of Journalists Eric Oduor announced today that they will be going to the street because the freedom of the press has been threatened at the current police station. KEG President Zubeida Kananu vowed to issue a 7-day strike notice over increasingly attacks on Kenyan media. Gaidho, who was his son when they were cut off by Subaru as they left home Wednesday morning, he then drove off into Karen police station where he was forcibly taken.
Kwanza kabisa ni kitendo ambacho tunakilaani pakubwa kwa sababu umefikia wakati ambapo tunaona serikali haina heshima kwa vyombo vya habari. Na sio tu maash na pole sana kwa kile ambacho kimekufika hii leo. Inasikitisha sana kwamba kama wanahabari hatuna amani tena. Kazi yetu na ndio sposa kazi ambayo tunaifanya inatambuliwa chini ya kipengele ambacho kinazungumza kuhusu haki za kibinadamu. Mbona media ikawa ndio peke yake imetambuliwa kwenye Bill of Rights? Ni kwa sababu taifa linatutegemea sisi kupata habari, kufahamishwa, na tuna haki ya access to information. Lakini wakati ambapo tunataka kuwafahamisha wananchi, tunakuwa kwamba sisi sasa ndio walengwa, tumekuwa adui. Mash amekuja katika kituo cha polisi ambapo anajihisi kwamba ni salama. Lakini kufikia wakati ambapo analengwa akiwa katika kituo cha polisi ni jambo la kusikitisha sana, na ni jambo ambalo tunalikemea pakubwa sana. Kwa sababu tunajiuliza kama Wakenya, tuko salama? Kwa sababu huwezi kusema ni mistaken identity. Mash ameeleza kabisa sana. Kwa sababu tunajiuliza kama Wakenya, tuko salama? Kwa sababu huwezi kusema ni mistaken identity. Mash ameeleza kabisa hawaishi pamoja na the Mash wenye wanasema kwamba wanamfuata. Wanaishi maeneo tofauti, na ni kitu ambacho tumeona kumekuwa na msururu wa wanahabari kulengwa. Jana tumetoka tu kuzungumza kuhusu mwanahabari aliyepigwa risasi. Wanahabari wetu wamelengwa na vitoza machozi. Wanahabari wetu sasa wamekuwa wao ndio wale wanaitwa criminals. Lugha ambayo inatumika katika nyanja za kisiasa. We are not criminals. Kazi yetu ni kufahamisha mwananchi kile ambacho kinafanyika. Kazi yetu, makosa yetu ni kubeba microphone na kamera. Kumfahamisha mwananchi kuhusu kile ambacho kinafanyika. Hatubebi bunduki, hatubebi mawe, hatubebi rungu. Kwa hivyo unapochukua risasi na kumpiga mwanahabari, unapochukua pingu na kumjeruhi mwanahabari hata bila kumfahamisha kwa nini unamjeruhi, ni kusudi lako ni gani? Labda hawa polisi tuwakumbushe Article 49 of the Constitution. Sijui kama wameisoma kuhusu haki za yule ambaye anakamatwa. Unastahili kumwendea, umuulize sababu za kumkamata ni gani. Wakili yuko hapa atazungumza. Ni haki za kwa yule mnayemkamata, mueleze kwa lugha ambayo anaielewa kwa nini unamkamata, jitambulishe kwamba wewe ni nani, na umueleze kwa sababu kusudi gani wewe unamkamata, na nia ambayo ama hatua ambazo utachukua baada ya kumkamata. Si kuweka mtu kwenye gari kama gunia, hata kama ni criminal. hata kama ni terrorist, kila Mkenya ana haki ambazo amewekewa na kuhakikishiwa kwenye katiba. Mshike kwa njia ya heshima, mfikishe katika kituo cha polisi na umpe haki ya kuwa na wakili. Si kumbeba na kumdhalilisha na kumuumiza kwa makosa ambayo hata mwenyewe hajui ni makosa gani. Kwa hivyo tangu maandamano yaliyopita tuliona wanahabari wetu wakijeruhiwa. Wakumbuka wale ambao walilengwa wakiwa katika ndani ya gari, wanatumiwa vitoza machozi. Wengine wao they are still traumatized to date. Tumeshauriana na DCI, tumeshauriana na DPP, tumeshauriana na IG, lakini nadhani namna ambavyo Masha amesema hapa statements hazitoshi.
Addressing a press conference, Kananu insisted that the action must be taken against individuals responsible for the abduction. Kananu vowed that KEG will not allow the government to intimidate the media. This came after Media Max journalist Catherine Wanjeri was shot while covering the protest in Nakuru. A cleaning supervisor from the State Department of Correctional Service and 5 others have been arraigned in court charged with allegedly pocketing 301 million Kenya shillings for goods not supplied. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC presented as corruption-related charges. They ranged from abuse of office, money laundering, and acquisition of public property. The accused appeared before Milimani Principal Magistrate Celesta Okwere and denied the charges. 8 others were absent and summons were subsequently issued requiring them to appear in court on Monday next week for plea taking. According to the charge sheet, all 14 have been accused of conspiring to commit an economic crime. It's alleged that they fraudulently acquired 301 million Kenya shillings as payment for goods not supplied to the State Department of Correction Service. This offense is said to have been committed between July 1st, 2014 and March 29, 2018. The cleaning supervisors and the waiter attached to prison faced a separate charge. It is alleged that they engaged in arrangement for the purchase of a maisonette at 17.5 million. The EACC claims they did not know that the monies received from the State Department of Correction Services formed part of proceeds of crime. The effect, they said, was to allegedly disguise the money, they said, the source of money, they said. An officer for the Supply Chain Management Service was charged with using his office to improperly confer a benefit of 62,560,000 to a logistic firm, being payment for goods supplied to the State Department for Correction Service. The offense is said to have been committed between August 29, 2016 and June 15, 2017 within the Republic of Kenya. A top finance officer at the State Department for Correction Service was also accused of using her office to improperly confer a benefit of 73,342,500 to a supply firm being. Welcome back. And internationally, police in Bangladesh capital have banned all public rallies after the deadliest day of ongoing student protests. So far, government buildings touched by demonstrators and the imposition of a nationwide internet blackout. This week's unrest has killed several people.
আমাদের যে ভাই আপুদের যে মারা হইছে সেটা বিচার করা হোক এবং প্রধানমন্ত্রী যেমন একটা নগণ্য একটা কথা বলছে আমাদের রাজাকার বলছে সে তার জন্য তার কাছে আমরা ক্ষমা চাই। সে যাতে আমাদের কাছে ক্ষমা প্রার্থনা করে। সে সরকার প্রধান হিসাবে একটা দেশের যে প্রতিনিধিত্ব করে সে কিভাবে আমাদের ছাত্র সমাজকে এরকম একটা নোংরা কথা বলতে পারে।
This week's unrest has killed several people. The AFP news agency reported at least 39 people dead, including 32 on Thursday alone, with the toll expected to rise after reports of clashes in nearly half of the country's 64 districts. The death toll could not be independently verified. That's all we had lined up for you. Tune in to the subsequent bulletin that comes to you live at 1 p.m. and follow us on all our digital platforms at AdTech TV. My name is Violet Wangui.